Madam Mayor, I move this proposal and would like to address the Chamber on this. Like any organisation, it is important that we use the expertise and skills at our disposal to ensure that the service we provide is the best within the resources available. It is, of course, up to the administration who they propose as chairs, but it is also for us to present counter nominations where we wish. This is particularly important as the effectiveness of our committees reflect upon us all and not just the administration. Indeed, I do fully concur with the Leader of the Council, who was quoted in the Romford Recorder recently, saying that I know when a committee needs freshening up, and the last thing I want is to have committees that aren't holding the executive to account. The message coming out of that statement is that scrutiny committees need to be fit for purpose and provide the necessary checks and balances against executive decision making. For example, to hold decision makers to account, to challenge performance and help improve services, to ensure policies are working as intended, and to bring about a wider perspective from citizens and stakeholders. We have always maintained that scrutiny committees would be better served if the chairs were not of the same group as the majority party. There is, of course, no whip in scrutiny committees, but true objectivity and effective scrutiny can sometimes be hampered by members who may be reluctant to be critical of policy set down by their colleagues in the Cabinet. Over the past few years, we have put up chairman nominations for each scrutiny committee, and for over the past few years, that has been voted down. So rather than doing the same thing again with the same outcome, we've focused on a few of the committees where there is added value in opposing the administration's nominations. Whether it is a scrutiny committee or a service committee, such as regulatory services and highways, it is crucial that the chairman possesses the right qualities. For example, to listen carefully to contributions and keep members focused, is informed, impartial and flexible, to facilitate balanced discussion, can summarise fairly and succinctly, and can exert authority when required, and that's respect to fellow committee members. In short, to encourage the reticent, support the reasonable, and suppress the overbearing. It is our view, and a crucial factor is that any chairman should at least have been a member of that committee in order to build up a degree of knowledge and expertise, as indeed our nominations have. If not, it's rather like asking someone to conduct an orchestra, having only ever played the triangle. And that is where I struggle a little with some of the leaders' nominations and how that squares up with the comment that committees need freshening up, and the last thing he wants is to have committees that aren't holding the executive to account. There does, of course, need to be ambition and opportunity for members to grow, but that needs to be set against the need for a committee to function at its best and to deliver on its objectives. In summary, Madam Mayor, I urge members to vote in favour of our amendments, our nominations. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor. Thank you, Councillor Barrett. Please could I have the seconder of the residents' group proposal, please?
Madam Mayor, I second the amendment.
Right. Thank you very much. Now we move to general debate. I see Councillor Darville. Would you like to?
Yes, thank you.
Barbara Matthews, I believe.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Before I start, can I congratulate you and Eric and your consorts, and I'm sure you're going to have a great year.
Thanks, Barbara.
We've all read the unfolding events within the Romford Conservatives. It may be sad, I'm afraid, but often that's the way, because there's always politics within politics. It has little effect on most of us, other than something to read about. But then now it's encroaching into the London Borough of Havering business. As a consequence, we have suddenly had a change of chairs on 3 important committees, from experienced, knowledgeable people to untried, inexperienced people. Highways is one of these committees, which agrees expenditure amounting to millions, traffic calming measures, road safety measures, etc. Another is our Towns and Communities Scrutiny Panel, which monitors, comments on and can influence a vast range of council activities, again worth millions. And amongst these activities are reg services, which is planning to the man in the street, town centre strategy, licensing, housing, community safety, leisure, culture, parks. The third committee that worries me is crime and disorder, which again can influence policing and a range of community safety activities as it scrutinises the council's joint working with the police and other public agencies that deal with crime and disorder. Given that we are in a period of severe austerity, which is likely to continue for a considerable time, I do not think it is wise to make these changes. It would have been far better to make these new people vice chairs to these committees so they can learn from older, more experienced heads before giving them so much power. Not only are they influencing large aspects of Haverin's community and lives, they are having to balance increasing demands from the public with decreasing funds. I must point out here that I'm not in any way, shape or form being ageist. These people may have much potential, but if you owned a building company, for example, would you put an apprentice in charge of a team of plumbers and bricklayers? More important, would you be confident that that apprentice had influence on expenditure or company policy? Of course not, particularly if the company, like this council, was trading in difficult circumstances. And touching on potential, it is difficult to ascertain as they appear to be bringing very little of life experiences with them. Indeed, all I ever hear is that they work hard for and are very loyal to our Romford MP. That in itself is very commendable, but any payback is for him to deal with. As I see it, their reward for this loyalty is being given these council committee chairmanships, all with large allowances, all being paid for by our council taxpayers. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Matthews.
Is in a position of authority and knowledge to provide a really good service. And that's what I think. I think perhaps in some time in the future we'll be looking at how we serve the community with our committees, and we'll be actually looking at the wealth of talent we have in our chamber and thinking, well, actually that person will do a really good job on that committee because he's got the experience, or she, and the know-how. But does it really matter what party that person is from? Which is taking precedence here? Suitability and experience, or party? That really is the point, and I know we make it time and time again. And I was a little perturbed by something Councillor Dervish did say when he said he's got plenty of experience in politics and how politics works, which is fine. But what we need is plenty of experience in how the community works and how people work in that community. That's the important thing. As such, Madam Mayor, I would ask members to support our nominations. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor Barrett. I see, Councillor Burton, that you have indicated to speak, but we are on to group leaders' responses now. Yes? So I'm awfully sorry I can't give you the floor. Leader of the Council, please.
Well, Madam Mayor, thank you. I wasn't actually going to speak on this debate, but since the opposition have taken the opportunity to make a debate, then I will respond to it. First of all, I don't see it's my fault that anyone in the opposition is under the age of 50. It's not really my problem that we, the Conservative Party, are really, really good at winning elections and really good at getting young people onto this council, because that's what we do. We are the only party that represents all ranges of people in Havering. Let's not forget that. And when you talk about experience, well, I've been the leader of this council now for 8 years. I think I've got the T-shirt. And therefore it's my judgment that the three people that are coming into the roles this time, Gary, Osmond and Damien, are ready for those roles. And I believe that actually through natural succession that the jobs that they will do will be really good. And that's because I believe that there's enough of us around them to ensure that the decisions that they make will be the right types of decisions. Now, what I will say is a lot's been said about overview and scrutiny. Let's make it very clear. Overview and scrutiny is just that, overview and scrutiny. As Councillor Kelly pointed out to me, it doesn't spend any money, and therefore it will not be making decisions. That is the domain of the executive, and I do note that my position is the executive is not changing. So I do think a lot's been made of this debate. I think it's been a lot of hot air. I think we need to get on and move on. And the last thing I will say about this debate, I note, Councillor Barrett, that you actually come from no position at all to be leader of the opposition, and that shows that actually you can just grow into a role over time. But I do note your proposal in relation, I'm not giving way, I do note your proposal that next year we should take all the vice-chairmanships as well, and I give notice that we will be doing that.
Councillor Barrett, do you wish to make a point?
I didn't come straight in as leader. I was elected in 2006 and became leader in 2008. Thank you.
Perhaps you'd like to tell me what roles you have.
No. Excuse me, is this absolutely necessary?